Hey everybody, Jill Lancet. How are you? We've had a rainy week in Sydney and it prompted me to think about the fact that Easter's coming up and a lot of people go away. Here in Australia we go away, the school holidays fall in that time too. And I don't know about you guys, but I pretty much do some crafting or art or something nearly every day. Now, when you're on holidays and you're away from your craft supplies and it rains and, you know, you're just having one of those quiet days. Now, I'm thinking of myself actually here because I don't have children that I take away on holidays. So yeah, I'm at a bit of a loss, at a bit of a loose end really. I'm not a great TV watcher and my husband seems to have the remote actually surgically attached to his hand. So yeah, but I just thought to myself, now I generally take a bag full of stuff, but what if you have to travel light? And so I started thinking about this and I thought, if you have to travel light, look, that's a craft set right there. That's pretty much all you need to take. Now, I'm going to tip this out and I'm going to show you what this contains and how you can use this to do some crafting while you're away. But first of all, hi Veronica. Veronica in the UK sent me an email. She's having trouble. She has arthritis in her hands. I've got a bit of arthritis here, and she had trouble opening her ink pads. And she asked me, how can I do this? So this is what I do. I take my bone folder. If you haven't got a bone folder and you've got like a ruler, whatever, find something that you can use to pop into that little lip there. This fits in perfectly. So this is how I open them. I pop that in there and I twist it. It opens it. All right, I got ink on it, but you know what? I can clean that. But the thing is, this one's not that hard to open, so it opened very easily. But yeah, try that. Just twisting it, it will get it started for you. And if you have difficulty sliding that in and out, my best clue for you would be to, I don't know, pop a bit of Vaseline in here or down the sides. You can do the Vaseline down the sides there. Chapstick would work as well. If you have wax crayons, try that. You can just run that down there and that should help it. They do get a little bit better as they go on. But yeah, if you're really struggling, that little tip is just so handy. Just twist that and it will open it every time for you. Yeah, so yeah, hi Veronica, thanks for emailing me. And that was a good question to ask, because if you're having trouble and I have trouble sometimes, then somebody else is more than likely having trouble as well. So keep that little tip in mind. Okay, I just thought I'd better do that before I forget, because you know, I forget. Now, it's still daylight savings here in New South Wales. I think it ends at the end of this month, but next door are just finishing their lawns and I've been trying to hold off, but yeah, we'll be here till midnight if I don't do it now. Okay, so here's my little, I mean, you could use a smaller pencil case. I haven't got all of these things in here, but I'm going to show you what I think would be a great travel kit to take away with you. Now, it does require a bit of preparation, and all I've done is stamp and emboss on watercolor paper. Okay, so you can make as many of these as you want. I've only made 2. Okay, but if I was going away, this is a great way to spend those rainy days. Let's face it, we are in autumn, we're coming to winter, and of course our weather is going to change. But so I've stamped them, I've embossed them. I've popped those in a little plastic bag to keep them clean and unmarked to pack with everything else. Now I've chosen a selection of the Stampin' Right markers here, and these are the Stampin' Right markers, not the blends, not the alcohol blends. These are the Stampin' Right markers. These are water-based, the others are alcohol-based. Now, that's what I'm taking with me, and a paintbrush. Now, you can take some sort of little palette. You can also take, sometimes I'll use a piece of white paper that's been laminated, just half of it, just so that I can see the colours. You can get one of these little palettes in one of the $2 shops. But look, if you don't have one of these, and where you're going is going to have crockery of some description, or if you are camping and you have your own crockery, you can use a plate. For your water container, you can use a cup, a paper cup. I had a list here somewhere, and I don't know what I've just done with that. How's that possible? Oh, here it is. Right here. So this is what I take. A pencil case, Stampin' Up! Heat embossed images, Stampin' Right markers, and your favourite brush. Of course, you can take the water brushes. I'm not a fan. I don't know if it's me or I'm old school, because I'm old. But I never really got the hang of these. But you could take an empty one and use it as a paintbrush. You know, needs must. Okay, so if you're packing for the minimum, that's a great thing to do. And then when you get there, you can use a cup, a mug, a glass for your water container. You can get a takeaway cup in your travels. Ask them for a second cup. Say that it's going to be hot to handle. Get a second cup. Or you can use an empty tablet bottle. This is mine. It's an old chewing gum container. I like it because it's got a closing lid and it clicks shut, because I don't have to say anymore. A plate. You can use a plate, a saucer. You can use some plastic packaging. You know, something like this. You could use that. And tissues or toilet paper. I've got paper towel, but you could use tissues or toilet paper. You don't have to pack your heat gun. Normally there's a hairdryer in accommodation, or you might pack your own hairdryer, but you can actually leave these to dry naturally. So if you do a whole pile of these, that's all you need to take. When you get home, you can turn these into gorgeous cards. We are going to do that, but I wanted to show you how easy and quick this is, and you get to practice your watercolouring skills with something as simple as this. Now, I've got a lot of markers here. I don't have all of them, but I've got quite a few here. So I want to start with how I'm going to do this. I haven't coloured this one yet. This one I've had a couple of goes at. You can also just use a plastic bag. So if you've got something that was in a plastic bag, you can use a plastic bag. But because it's hard to see on the video, I might use this plate and just show you. So I'm just going to get some paper towel ready. And as I said, pretty much everybody, wherever they go, has access to toilet paper. So even if you don't have paper towel, you've got toilet paper, at a minimum tissues. Now I like to sort of fold this up and use it like this. That way you've got extra surfaces that you can use. This is just to clean your brush and wipe your brush. So I'm going to pop that there. I've got a second piece in case I need it. And we're just going to start, okay? So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to colour this. Now, stay with me, because you might think that, okay, I'll just do this. I'll just take my marker like I do with my watercolor pencils, and I'll just put a little bit of that on there like that. And then I'll take my brush and I'll spread that out. Well, it's not exactly the same, as you can see, okay? It is not going to turn out the same. So you do need to use this in a different way. I mean, you could try that, but yeah. This is watercolor paper. I wouldn't do this on Whisper White, okay? So with this gorgeous, I'm thinking this is hydrangea. So the colors I want are the very gorgeous fresh freesia, and I'm just using the side of the marker here, and yeah, I'm going up the side there because, oops, there's a fibre in there, because I can bring that colour back down if I want to, okay? So that's fresh freesia. Then I've got Highland Heather, and the dark one, I believe, is Orchid Oasis. Let me check. Orchid Oasis. So I'm sure you can see that. I'm absolutely positive you can see that. So I'm using those three mauves for the flowers. And it's that simple, guys. So the first thing I want to do is take some water, and I'm going to colour in all the flowers. And I want enough water on there for that water to remain shiny. Now I will show you, okay? Now if it dries, if it's really hot, do a section at a time, and you can always add more water. Okay, now I'm going to hold this up. Of course I'm going to hold this up, but I just wanted to show you how quickly you can watercolor. Watercoloring is very, very forgiving. You don't have to be an art major. You just need to know a couple of little tricks. So I hope you can see that. That's shiny, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of this, and I'm going to, it's just water on there, and I'm just mixing in some of this colour, and this is the darker colour, and so I want this to be in the background. Okay, so I'm just, when they say dropping the colour in, literally I am dropping the colour in, and I'm trying to make sure that goes into the background. And yep, just in the background there. Now if it flows over, I'm not too worried, okay? I really am not too worried. So I've got that. Now the other thing is, you know, if you've got a hairdryer while you're away, if that's part of the deal, then yeah, excellent. So now I've done that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to add this colour here, and I'm just going to drop this into various spots. Look, honestly, it does not get easier than this. Those colours will blend if they're next to one another. You will get this gorgeous variation in all of the petals, which is what happens in nature. This is a great way. You're on holidays, you're relaxed, you've got minimal supplies, you're not going to overthink this, and it's a great opportunity to just practice. And that's all it takes, is practice. So I'm cleaning off this brush now. I'm dabbing it on my paper towel. I don't want it too wet. And I'm just going to take the lighter colour now, and I'm just going to add that where I want it. Now hydrangeas are quite often these multiple colours. And there's also a surprising colour that you may not think of. And I will add that in a tick. So I'm just picking up the colour and I'm just dropping it in. I've got 3 different mauves there. And now for the secret ingredient. Do I want that green or that green? Maybe garden green. I'm just going to pop a little tiny bit of green and pick that up and just pop that occasionally, because sometimes you do get a little bit of green with these. Now I'm going to show you something else with watercolouring. You can see that that's mixing. Now if it isn't mixing, you can just take your brush. It is mixing because there's a lot of water on there. I just want to show you. But if I think I've put too much green in, I can rinse my brush, dry it, and with a reasonably damp brush, I can pick that up. A dry brush will suck up that colour. As long as the colour's still wet, it will suck that up. So you want to rinse it, dry it off again, and I've just got the slightest little tinges of green in here now, which is exactly what I want. So I can go back in and put some more of the colouring in there. So I can mix these two together and make a third colour. And if I run out of colour, it's simply a case of just drying that off with my paper towel and starting again, scribbling. Now there are some white bits, and I'm happy with having some white bits. Okay, so I'm just intensifying those really light colours just by dropping that in. Now when they say dropping it in, that's what they mean. Okay, so now that is pretty much done. There's a little bit there that I want coloured because it's the background. So now that I've done this, I can actually go in and do a few little finer bits if I want to. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much done. Now, I have got a portable hairdryer here because, yeah, if you're away and you don't want to carry your heat tool, you can just take your portable hairdryer. It's not going to affect the embossing, but it will dry this. Now, the reason you would dry that is if you wanted to add some more colour. Now, we are going to actually paint in the background. I wanted this dried fairly quickly. So I'm finished with these colours, so I can just take some water on my paper towel and just wipe this clean. Now, that is not going to stain. That is not going to stain ceramic, okay? So I can turn my little paper towel around and I've got another piece ready to go. So I'm going to do the leaves now. So I want a couple of greens. So I'm going to take this green, which is garden green. What's this one? Mossy Meadow. And then this, I think it's, what is it? Parakeet Party. Nice bright green. So I've got those colours. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to paint the leaves just with some water. Now the colour is being held in with the embossing. But here's another trick. If I didn't have embossing there, the colour will only go as far as the water. So you see a break in the embossing there, and the water has stopped right on the edge there. So I'll paint the other one. No, I won't. No, I won't. I won't. So I'm going to do this one in the lightest green. And again, I'm just dropping this colour in. This is such a lovely technique. And you know what? You don't have to race out and buy expensive watercolour paints. If you've got these markers, and indeed any water-based markers will do this as well. So I'm dropping that colour in there. I'm cleaning that off. I do need some more of that because I want to do the other leaf. Look, you don't have to carry stacks and stacks of stuff, okay? So I'm just going to paint this with the water. And as I said, look, I'm really old school. I prefer a nice paintbrush any day to anything else. I'm going to pick this up and drop that in there. Of course, you can move it around if you need to. Now you'll notice there's also a break in the embossing there, but it won't go any further than the water. So that's another handy thing to remember. So yeah, like you could be on holidays and plan this into your holiday, you know, like in my case, sometimes my husband plays golf and I don't want to go anywhere, or he's taken the car and yeah, I don't want to go anywhere. So I've always got something that I can do. I'm going to do the stem now, and the ink can run into where you have put water, but that's okay because it's all the same color. So that's why we either have embossing or just stop where the water is. So there we go. Now I can actually take the darker greens now and start adding these in just to create a bit of interest. So again, I'm just dropping that in. It's just literally dropping off the paintbrush. So I'm just making it darker there. I'm going to make it darker here. And this is so quick. And the beauty of watercolor is it's very, very forgiving. So now I've done that color there. I'll pick up another bit and pop it down the stem. And sometimes the water will carry that down. And then I'm going to take my darkest green, which isn't very dark, so I might make it a little bit darker by adding some blackberry bliss. And I know you're thinking, what the heck? But let's just see. There we go. And you can mix your own colours. Mix your own colours up, guys. It's easy. So I've got this darker colour now, and I can just drop that in there. Not that it's going to make too much difference because it's not really that much darker, but you see what I mean. Look, this takes practice, but seriously, I am not an artist, okay? I am not an artist. I just know certain tricks because I've just been around art for that long. Now I'm going to just wipe that and clean that off. That's how easy that is. If that was plastic, the result would be the same. I'm going to heat this now with this little... This is one of those little travel hair dryers. So simple. I'm just going to dry that. Okay, now that's not completely dry, but I want to do a bit around the outside now. I want to do a little bit of background color. So again, I'm going to just take some, this is Pool Party. I just want a very, very pale background. Okay, so I can mix my Pool Party here, and you can barely see it, I'm sure. But because I want a lot of it, I can fill up the whole saucer with this. Always use the side of your markers, guys, because you don't want to wreck your tip. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just taking some water and I'm just going to go around and just make that shiny. That's all. And I want to go right down here. Okay. Now you can do this in sections, which probably would be easier. So then I'm going to pick up my Pool Party and I'm just dropping that colour in. Now I want it darker closer to there, closer to where the plant is. So I'm going to drop that in there like that. And the water will actually carry that out. Carry it out. And I can help that along by just using the heel kind of the brush. And if I've put too much, I can actually go back in with some clean water and push it back. Very, very, very easy. Watercolouring is so easy. And to think that you can do this with your Stampin' Write markers, I mean, if you did not know this, I'm hoping that this is going to be mind blown and, yeah, another possibility for you. So I'm just doing the same thing, just clean water. I'm just going up to the embossing there. The paper is shiny. I'll show you the paper is shiny. And I'm just going to pick up some more of this and drop it in. Drop it in. And it doesn't have to be actually perfectly coloured either. You can actually add darker bits to it. Just by picking up some more and adding a bit of texture to the background. Now it depends on whether it's drying or totally wet as to how much colour you'll actually get on there. So yeah, that's again another thing that you need to practice, and you'll get the hang of it. So I'm liking that. It's kind of fading off to nothing. So I'm going to continue. Now you don't want to get water in these textures, so when you've got a lot of water in there, it's a great idea to wipe that off, start again. It takes seconds. It takes seconds. Okay, so I'm going to add some water in here. Now if you've got too much water, dab it off on your paper towel. Okay, that's what your paper towel / toilet paper / tissue is for. Yeah, so I'm just painting this in here, this water. It's stopped at the embossing, and yeah, I just want that to be shiny. I'm going to pick up some of the Pool Party. Now this means that you don't have to carry re-inkers with you. You don't have to carry the ink pads. Can you imagine all of those colours in ink pads if you had to pack them? Unbelievable. You'd be charged extra baggage, I'm sure. Not that I'm a seasoned traveller, but yeah. Look, this is so easy and it is very, very relaxing, and anybody can do this. Okay, so I need some more of this. This is very, very pale colour. Okay, so I'm going to paint some more water on here. And yeah, finish this off. I think I'll just, I won't be delicate. I'll just do it so that we get this finished, okay? And yeah, easy peasy watercolouring using Stampin' Right markers. Now that watercolour paper withstands a lot of water, and if you're putting enough water on there to make that shiny, then it's not going to dry out anytime soon. So I'll just show you again how wet that is. I'm going to pick up some of this, going to pop that in there, and look, even if you were to overlap that, it would not matter. Okay, so I tend to tease it out towards the edge so that it doesn't go right up to the edge. Have it darker closer to the flowers, and then of course you can go back in. You can go back in later on when it's dry and have another go at it if it's not dark enough. Yeah, I miss my craft room when we go away. We tend to stay in Australia. We tend to sort of just go not too far away, but I do miss my craft room, and sometimes I think I've packed all of this stuff and I haven't, and that in itself is a creative exercise, because then you have to make do with what you've got. But if you plan this to have it as a watercolouring holiday, get your practice in there, and yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. Now I'm going to let that dry naturally. I'm going to do the other one now. So I'll just clean that off. I'm going to turn my paper towel around. So I'm just going to turn it around, fold it up, and I've got some relatively clean spots to do it with now. So here's my other image. That one's going to just sit over there. I'm just going to have a mouthful of my coffee. Just bear with me, guys. I needed that. Okay, so this one here, you are going to notice an absolute difference in the colours that I use here. So I'm going to put some, I think this is Sweet Sorbet. Beautiful. This one's going to be quite vibrant in difference to the other one. So I've put a lot there. I'm going to put some Daffodil Delight over here. Now, I don't really want them to mix because that's going to be just orange. Okay, so I'll just keep those two there, and I'm going to start with the bigger petals, okay? Okay, they must be nearly finished in there next door now, surely. Oh, and that water's a bit blue. Now, if I've made a mistake, I can just blot that up with my paper towel, and it's really forgiving. Watercolor paper is so forgiving, it's not funny. Okay. So I'm just making this one petal wet, and then I'm going to miss that petal, and I'm going to go into this petal. Now, just in case they touch, just in case these little gaps in the embossing, that will run out and it'll run into that one, and it might mix that those colors where I don't want them. So that's why I did that. So I'm going to pick up some of the red. The red is very vibrant. Look, I hope you guys can see this. And I'm just dropping it. I mean, when they say drop that color in, that's what they mean. Just pick it up and let it drop off the brush. Now that's going to be a very dark petal there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other one that I have already put the water on. And then I'm going to show you the absolute beautiful property of watercolouring. Now I want you to look at that, how that colour, that is called blooming. It's like little spidery fingers. It's running with the water. Some people hate that. I like it. So now I've got those two petals done in the red and the whole petal is wet. I'm going to take some of this gorgeous, gorgeous Daffodil Delight and I'm going to drop it in the center of the petal and let it run towards the red, okay? Look at that. How beautiful. I'll do this one up close. The water is carrying that and mixing it with the red. I hope you can see that. I hope I just didn't do that whole thing out of frame because that would make me sad. Okay, so that's those two petals. Now I'm happy with those. The water will carry the colour, so as you saw, it still can run around, but I'm going to continue on. I'm going to continue on now. I'll do a couple of these petals on here. Now you don't want too much water. This is a thing that you will learn from experience by doing. How much water is too much water, okay? So you want it shiny. I'm going to pick up some of this red, drop it in around the edges, and I'm going to do that one and this one over here. And then I'm going to pick up some of the yellow and do the same thing. It's beautiful to watch. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm doing it, but it's lovely. I mean, you know, you possibly would not even be able to paint that. And here it is doing it all by itself. So I'm just dropping that yellow in there, just like that. And the water is doing the rest. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I'll keep going. I'll keep going around all of the petals. You've just got to be aware that if the water comes in contact with where you've already just painted, and if it's wet, it will run. So there you go. Not too much water, just enough to make that paper shiny. And I'm going to start again. I just think this is the most wondrous thing. And on this particular one, it is the best example I could find to show you. Yeah, I don't know how else to say that. Oh, good, they haven't finished next door, so they're having another go at the mowing. Good, I don't know what they're mowing now, but anyway, I have music playing, so if it's not bothering me, I hope it's not bothering you too much. So yeah, I'm just going to drop some of this yellow in. And yeah, look, like in the olden days, you might have been burned at the stake for witchery if you did this. It's just so magic, so magical. Okay, look at that, look at that. I'm just going to continue on. Now I'm continually washing my brush and just sort of like getting the colour off it in between. So I'll do this one here. Yep. Again, you need to practice this. And this, what better way? You're on holidays. Now you can see that that yellow has started to run, but I'm not concerned about that too much, okay? So I'll do this one over here. That is way too much water. And we may have another bit of running, but that's okay. I'm just going to pick up some of this red. And as it dilutes in colour, like, you may need to add more. But look, the petals of a flower are all different colours. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You're not going to find two petals exactly the same. So I will add some more. Now that paper, I mean, it's not here. I do have the fan on. It's not hot here. But yeah, that's still wet. It's still wet. So the watercolour paper the water kind of sits on the surface. Whereas with the other papers, it sort of, you know, soaks in. So I can add some more red to this to increase the colour. I will put some red here. I hope you can give this a go. Look, as you can see, minimal supplies for a glorious, and I mean glorious effect. So a bit of yellow in the middle. I might need some more yellow. What have I done with that? Here it is. Now, if you're finished for the day, you can just leave that. As soon as you add water to that, it will reactivate it. So yeah, don't clean it unnecessarily if you don't have to. Look at that. Oh my word. Sorry. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely. I just can't tell you. It's something you have to experience for yourself, you know. And look, simple products. Here's the last petal on this one, and this petal on this one. You can see, oh no, it's the second last one. You can see I've sort of gone over on that one, but I don't care. If it blends, it blends. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So there we go. And we've got one little tiny petal down there that we will actually colour. So put some red in here. And yeah, I can't stress this enough, how beautiful this is. Wait till you see it finished. It will dry back slightly, ever so slightly lighter, but not much, okay? Not much. So we need some more red. I don't want it to keep diluting this. I don't want to have to... Yeah, so yeah, can't stress how gorgeous this is enough. So I'm just going to rinse that, give it a bit of a clean, and put some yellow in here. There's a couple of little, oh no, I was going to say there's a couple of little white spots in there, and I'm not upset about that at all, but I think they blended themselves out, to be honest. And a bit of yellow, a bit of yellow in the bottom of this one. Oh my gosh, look at that. The yellow just... Now, what I might do is I might just hit that and dry that because they're pretty wet. I'm going to use this little hairdryer again. Yeah, remember we're on holidays and we've got minimal supplies. I'm going to hold this up in a sec. And I just want you to see how gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous this is. Look, it's probably not completely dry, but I don't care. And you can see there are some white little bits, and I love that. I love that. See that little white bit there? I love that. Okay, so now I'll clean this because I'm finished with the red and the yellow. And the other colour that I wanted to put in here was some pumpkin pie with some blackberry bliss. Now those two colours are more than likely going to make brown, but I do want just the tips of these petals to be orange, and I want the inner part to be blackberry bliss. So just a little bit of each colour. This is an extremely strong colour, as you can see. And you can also just go straight with these small areas with a wet, you know, not wet, but a wet brush, a damp brush, okay? You can actually just go direct and it will paint, like water paint, watercolor paint. So I can do the orange, because these are very, very small areas. I can just pick that up like that, and yep. And then I can do the same thing with the blackberry bliss. I want these to have that dark colour at the base of the petals. And you can see that's pulled that up into the orange, which isn't a bad thing. It just gives it more interest, more texture, and it does kind of overpower it, but I like it. So that's that. Now I am going to do the leaves, okay? And you can go in a bit later on and intensify either of those colours. Once it starts to dry, you can do that. So I want the, what's this called? Parakeet Party again. I want some Parakeet Party. And I'm going to wet these leaves just till they're shiny. I know I'm starting to sound like a parrot, but yeah. You know what they say in advertising? You have to say the name of the product about 7 times during an advertisement before people will remember it. So, have I said it 7 times yet? Do you remember? Look, I just love this. I love this technique. This is my idea of fun on a rainy day. So, yeah, colour me weird. Now you'll see that that water will actually carry that colour. And there's a bit of red there, and I'm not upset about that. Yeah. hope you're enjoying watching this. You don't know a technique unless somebody shows you or tells you about it. And this, to me, is one of those techniques that anybody could do. Now, the reason I'm using Stampin' Up markers is because they match. But, you know, go and practice on the kids' water-based textures. And, yeah, you'll see. So now I think I'll just go straight to the... garden green and just drop that in there. And you'll see how that just darkens that, makes that look like it could be in shade. So anywhere that you think there would be shade. So that leaf is on top of that one. This is on top. The flower is on top of this one here. And this last little one, just a bit of variation. Look at that. How lovely is that? So I'm going to clean that off, and I think I'll go back in with some of this orange now. I don't want it too wet. Look, guys, you will work this out. You'll work this out. It's trial and error. And if it didn't turn out, there's another side. So, yeah. I'm just popping some of that orange, just popping that orange, just to pop it. As a contrast to the Blackberry Bliss. There we go, I'm finished. Now I just want to do a bit around the outside. I'm going to go with a mauvey colour, this one. I'm going to go with the Fresh Freesia. So I'll clean all of this off. And look, if you think that's wasteful, that was a few strokes. A few strokes from a Stampin' Right marker is not going to send you broke, honestly. I'm going to do this Fresh Freesia. And this is the background. So, yeah. Now, at this point, you might want to get some clean water or something like that. But look, honestly, I don't think it's going to make a difference. So I'm just wetting this just till it's shiny. I'm teasing the water out. And I'm just going to drop that colour in there. And the water will carry it. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said that, but the water carries that. It's just magic. It's magic. It's easy. It's quick. And it looks fantastic. And oh, and people are going to think you're a brilliant artist when all you've done is taken the Jill Lancet cheat's way to watercolouring, basically. No, not quite. Not quite, but you know. Yeah, all you need is a little bit of brush control and practice. Literally practice. So, yeah. And you know I can't do this and talk at the same time, right? So, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to just start dropping this colour in. Look, it just drops off the paintbrush. Wherever you put the tip of the paintbrush, that colour will find the water and it will fill in the space that you filled with the water. Again, this is a very pale colour. Of course, you can go as whatever background you like. Yep. But I really urge you to give this a go. And look, if you know, you guys can always email me if you've got any questions. Like Veronica did. Like Veronica was struggling. That's silly. Don't struggle. Shoot me an email, ask me a question. Hopefully I can help you with it. And yeah, you know, there's an old saying, don't sit in the darkness cursing when you could light a candle, which is what I say to my kids all the time and my husband. Doesn't make sense. Done and done. Now, I'm not sure how long we've been going, but look, I'm just going to clean that. I'm cleaning it with that. If I was in a hotel room, I would actually wash that up. You know, you don't want to eat whatever that is in the markers. But yeah, it's very, very easy to clean up. I'm just going to hit that with the hairdryer. Remember? Your partner might be wondering why you keep running off into the bathroom to use the hairdryer, but it's secret women's business. Now, I've got some bits and pieces here. Yep, I just thought we'd make two very quick cards. So the first thing I want to do is glue these onto a black background. Where is my glue? Okay, here it is. Now, this is quite warped, so yeah, you may want to just make sure you've got enough glue. Now, I'm not saying you should cut all this stuff out and carry this with you on holidays, but you don't have to. You can just wait till you get home and you haven't had to, you know, carry extra stuff. How bloomin' gorgeous is that? Now I'm going to stick a big block on that just while I do the other one. And you can see I had a go at chopping the sentiment out. I was going to do it in black and then I decided no, I wouldn't. So look, big mistake in the middle. Only you and I know. Only you and I know that. So yeah, bit of glue. Of course you can use tear and tape. Of course you can use Seal Plus, any of those things. I'm just using the liquid glue because that's my preferred adhesive. I'm going to stick another block on that. I've got another block. Excellent. Now while I'm waiting for those to just dry, I've got two card bases here. I'm going to use my bone folder that I just cleaned because I just got Cajun craze all over it. Crikey. Okay, so there's my card base. I'm going to pop a lovely matte 1. This is matte 1. I will use my seal for this just because it's quick. So there's matte 1. Oops. And one bit in the middle. Make sure your card opens the right way when you're putting this together, guys, because yeah, I don't know how many times I've literally ruined that. Now I have got, this is one piece of that gorgeous new paper. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the Thankful Garden, whatever it is. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. Hold your horses. It's this one. It goes with that stamp set. What's it called? Lovely Garden. Lovely Garden. And it's the same piece. I'm just reversing it. Okay, so I'm going to pop one way, the other way, and yeah, I think I put far too much of this stuff on. I see people just popping little bits here, there, and everywhere. So this is matte 2. Now, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you need these. These are my, this is my matte template. Email me, Tilly2145@gmail.com. Ask for the matte template. I'll send you that in a PDF and you can print that out for yourself. Now, that will give you beautiful borders that are all, you know, they go down in size. So this one here, another card base. And I also want to talk to you about the sentiments that I've chosen. So this one is going this way. I want the green on this one. It's going on the black matte as well. A bit in the corner, a bit in the middle. Here's our black matte. Yep. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Beautiful green. So the black is matte 1, the other is matte 2, and there we go. Card opens that way. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, sorry if I'm half in, half out. Right, now I can choose which ones I want on which one. Okay, now this one has got the mauve background, so I can pop that on there, or I can pop it on the green if I want contrast. This one has the gorgeous, gorgeous pool party background. I think I like that. What do you think? Got these beautiful little black borders on them. Now you can pop them up. I'm not going to. I'm just going to put these straight on. I think I'm going to use Seal Plus, just because this is a bit thicker with the watercolour and the black cardstock on it. And you can see where I had it go in the middle there. But anyway, which way does my card open? Yes, it does. So now, these mattes were according to the size of the watercolour paper that I had. They were scraps, but I think you could work that out, guys. Yep. You just want a lovely little border. Picks up the beautiful colours in there. This one is very, very contrasting with the reds and the greens. So, yeah. And the mauve is probably the most gorgeous contrast of all. Now, I want to talk to you about the sentiments that I'm putting in. These are from the, I wanted to say dies. Now, look, you could cut these out. They're 2-part. That's Whisper White. No, Basic White. Crikey. Whisper White. We haven't had that for ages. So that's Basic White. Now, if I wanted to, I could use these and colour the white. Glue them all together. Always do Basic White. And then you can colour them later. I'm not going to colour them. I want the white. But I'm just saying you could just take whatever colour and colour that in. It wouldn't show up on the black. So, yeah, colour them after you've done this. This one's actually got some tape on the back. So, yeah, I'm going to pop that on there if I can get that off. Just hold your horses, honey, because I need... have to use this one. Hang on. It's a little bit of... There we go. Look how easy was that. And I think I'll just pop that down there like that. Have it going over that a little bit. What do you think? Is that straight? Crikey. Who knows? What about that? Oh, I like it. I like it. There we go. And the other one does not. So I need some liquid glue for this one. And yep, we've got 2 cards, 2 beautiful hand watercolored. You could sign that. You could sign that and you would be legit. But I just wanted you to see how quickly and beautiful watercolouring with Stampin' Right markers can be. Now, I hope you can see the gorgeous colours in those. This has been a long one, and I apologise for that. I don't usually like to have so long a video, but I wanted you to see that you can make them very, very subtle in colour, or you can go really, really vibrant. It just depends on you. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sorry it was so long. And I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Please, please, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this if you know somebody that would love to know how to do this. Or if they're going on holidays and they want to take some crafting stuff. Easy peasy colouring, guys. Literally, you watched it happen here. So thank you so much. Stay kind. Stay beautiful and kind, and I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Hooray. Bye for now. Bye.